I have a problem. I am genuinely really excited about the first of our gatherings, which we called Conversations at the Crossroads. But I know how easy it is to hear my excitement as some sort of sales pitch. And that's the last thing I'm trying to do. I am inviting you to the conversation, and I'm really want you to come. But that's because I know how much you'll enjoy it and get out of the day, and how much we'll lose out as a group, as a synod, if you're not there. So please listen for the next few minutes in that light as we try to give you a sense of what you're letting yourself in for.
Crossroads? Which crossroads? And who in their right mind stands in the middle of crossroads and has long conversations? That's not any road safety I've ever been taught. The title comes from the Theos report into the URC, which we commissioned for our 50th anniversary in 2022. We asked Theos to have a no-holds-barred look at us and tell us what they saw. It was they who told us that the URC is a church at the crossroads, because 50 years after its founding, the world and church are very different places from 1972. And we're at the place now where we have to decide which road to take for the next leg of our journey, hence Conversations at the Crossroads.
2025 kicks off these URC-wide conversations. They started a couple of weeks ago with a conference that asked the question, how do we establish new URC communities of worship? We are gathering you as church leaders and part of the ministry team to begin the conversation we need to have as a synod. This first conversation looks at two questions. What now for lay leadership? That's you in the United Reformed Church. And what will our churches look like in 2035? Those are the conversations for the afternoon sessions. In the morning, we have a real treat for you, a Bible study on the book of Jonah by Dr. Carl Moeller.
So hello, Carl. We've invited you to come and talk at our enrichment day. And I wonder if you might just say, firstly, a little bit about yourself in a few moments.
Thank you, Alistair. My name is Carl Müller, and my area that I've been working in is especially the Old Testament. I've been teaching at the University of Cumbria, but also ordination training for the Church of England in the Diocese of Carlisle and Blackburn, and also beyond that, actually.
Okay. But you're not an Anglican, are you, Carl? So you might like to tell us a little bit about your tradition.
Yeah, so as my accent will tell you, I'm from Germany originally and grew up originally in the Lutheran tradition in Germany. But since coming to the UK in '94, I have been mostly apart from the first few years, I've been part of the Anglican Church.
And now just tell us a little bit about what you're expecting to do with us on the enrichment day.
Sure. You've probably heard that we are going to look at the book of Jonah, and I'm particularly interested in how we might read this book. So we'll look into that. We'll pay particular attention to the humor that you find in the book of Jonah, which is quite often ignored, and we'll see what the purpose of that humor is. And also I want to take us beyond what can be quite a simplistic reading of Jonah, almost like it were a children's story. And I want to see what the book holds for us beyond that, as it were.
I'm really looking forward to it. Now, there's one thing we'd like people to do before they come, isn't there?
Yes, it would be really helpful if you could read the book of Jonah in advance. And I was saying to Alistair earlier, it's 4 chapters, but if you look at it, it's really only 48 verses, which is less than you might find in many a chapter in the Gospels. So it should only take you a few minutes.
So thank you very much for agreeing to be part of our little podcast about the day. And we look forward to meeting you in person in February.
Thanks, Alistair, and I'm looking forward to meeting everyone there. Brilliant. Thank you.
We've got 2 sessions in the afternoon, as Rob mentioned. The first will involve a word game about the church of the future. What models of church would we like to see? And which ones would we like to get rid of or consign to room 101, and why? We'll close the session with a discussion about whether what we're looking for as a form of church is something that's relevant to the changed and changing world in which we live, and will bring the gospel alive more faithfully than we can at present. Or is it just another form of survivalism? Here's the scenario for the second session. The year is 2035. There's a gathering of a flourishing, hopeful community of people who are seen by themselves and their community as continuing the way of Jesus Christ in their new context. What might this 2035 church be like? Who will be part of it? What might be the same or might be different to how it is now? And what could we do or stop doing or do differently to enable this vision to take root? And what could the wider church, the synod, church house, missional partnerships, our partnerships with our ecumenical partners do to support this vision?
You can see why we're so excited. Please get the date in your diaries and book your place with Kerry. You need to hurry. There are only 60 places for participants. We look forward to having you as part of our conversation at the Crossroads.